Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the Frigidaire refrigerator condenser fan motor kit. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can click on the link below or get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the package, you're going to get the foam tape, 2 screws, the fan blade, the new motor mounting bracket, the instructions, and the condenser fan motor. The condenser fan motor is located in the back of the refrigerator. It moves air across the compressor and the condenser to keep them cool. The main reason to be changing it out is if the motor has failed and the compressor and the condenser are running hot, causing the refrigerator not to cool. In order to change the part, we have to go around back and remove the access panel. We're going to use our 1/4-inch nut driver to remove the screws. Now that you have all the screws out, we can take the panel off and set it aside. Anytime you have the panel off, it's always a good idea to clean the condenser area off and the compressor, being careful of all the copper lines. It'll help the refrigerator run as efficiently as possible. The condenser fan motor is located right here in the center on this bracket. Normally when you change this, you just change out the motor, but since Frigidaire redesigned it, we have to change out this bracket, the blade, and everything. First thing we're going to do is disconnect the wiring harness. There's a little tab right here that you're going to have to press in and release and then separate the two sides. It might be a little tight in there, but you should be able to get it apart. Once you have that separated, we can use a 1/4-inch socket with a ratchet to remove the 3 screws that hold the motor to the bracket. Once you have all 3 screws out, you can get the brackets out of the way and pull the motor out. Now that we have the motor out, we can take the bracket out. First thing we're going to do is take this white support clip off and set it aside. Now that we have the support clip off, we have to remove the bolts that hold this bracket on. There are 3/8. We're going to use a socket. There's one here in the front and one in the back. Once you have both bolts out, we can turn the bracket so we can pull it out of the refrigerator. Here's the old condenser fan motor next to the new condenser fan motor kit. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. They've redesigned this kit and changed the style of the motor, so make sure you follow along with the instructions and the video. Before we get rid of the old frame, we're going to take this plastic bushing off. It's just a little protector to cover up the sharp edge and put it onto the new one. Once you have that swapped over, we can get rid of the old frame and put the new motor in. To put the motor in, we're just going to line it up with the holes and set it down. And then we can flip it over and put the screws in. We're going to use the 1/4-inch nut driver to put these in, and you want to make sure you torque them down to at least 20 inch-pounds. Before you tighten it down all the way, you want to make sure the other hole is lined up. And we'll get that screw started and then tighten them both down. Now that we have the motor mounted, we can put the fan blade on. All you have to do is push it down onto the shaft, and you want to make sure that the face of the fan hub is a 1/16 of an inch above the face of this plate. So you can throw a piece of wood across here and make sure this is a little bit above it. Once you have the fan blade pushed down, you just want to lay something across the bracket and make sure that the hub is about a 1/16 of an inch above the level of this going across. Once you have it at the proper height, then we can set it up and hold it. Then we can put the foam on. Foam's going to run across this section right here, just like on the old one. So we're going to take the backing off and stick it on. Once you have the foam in place and the assembly put together, we can put it into the refrigerator. To put the new assembly in, we're going to line it up at an angle just like when we took the old one out. You want to be careful as you're putting it in. The new foam's thicker. You don't want to tear it as you're pushing it in there, so just very carefully work it in there. Once you have it almost lined up, we're going to actually leave it at an angle and line up that back hole first and put the bolt in and get it started. And it's going to be kind of tight back there if we line it up completely straight with both holes. Once you have the bolt started, we're going to use a 3/8 socket with a 1/2-inch drive and extension. The 1/2-inch drive has a longer handle and comes all the way outside of the refrigerator, making it easier to turn. Once you feel it start to tighten down, we're going to swing the assembly over and line up the other hole and hold it in place while we tighten the back one down. Once you have the back one in, we can put the front one in and tighten it down. To put the retaining clip back on, we're going to hook it onto the new bracket and then onto the condenser. You want to be careful when hooking it onto the condenser. You don't want to damage it. Once you have the retaining clip in, we can reach back and reconnect the motor wiring harness. All you have to do is reach back and grab the wiring harness in the refrigerator and connect it onto the new motor. And make sure it snaps into place so you get a good connection. Now that we have the part installed, we can put the access panel back on. Just want to line it up, and then we can use our 1/4-inch nut driver to put the screws in. Now that we have the access panel reinstalled, we can plug the refrigerator back in and make sure it starts to cool. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.